This is my second video about grade 4 oral test B. Hopefully you've watched the first one and done the practice which I suggested, which is basically practicing the different intervals up and down from the keynote. So for instance, C to D, C to E, C to B, C to A. Or if you're in G, then G to B, G to A, G to F sharp, G to E, and so on. Now we're going to have a look at moving from one of those other notes. So for instance, from a step above the keynote to some other note than the keynote. So once again, I'll switch to my other camera, and I've adjusted it so you get a better view of the keyboard in this one. Now, for a change here, I think we're going to be in the key of G major for the first few examples instead of C. So let's think. Now, as we know, the first note you'll have to sing will always be the key note. So far we've been practicing going from G up or down, or the key note up or down. Now, supposing the first two notes are G and A. La, la. Well, after A, if the second note is A, the third note will be either B or G or F sharp. It can't go further than a third, so it can't go further down than there. So here, what you need to practice, we're making it a three-note sequence now. La, 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 which is easy, or la, 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 which is pretty easy. You're just going back to your first note, but do some practice of that. La, la, la. And then the slightly harder thing would be going from G to A, then to F sharp. So that would be la, la, la. If it helps, think of God Save the Queen. God save our gracious Queen. La, la, la. So those are all the possibilities that you will have going from the second note of the scale. La, 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 la. So practice that. Practice that in G, practice it in F, and practice it in C. Now, okay, so you may want to pause the video and do a little bit of practice of that. But let's say now that we are going from the third note of the scale. Let's go back to G major. So let's say we've either gone straight to B from G, or we've gone there via A. Now there are only two possibilities after the B. One is A, one is G. Simple as that. So, or. I suppose, to be fair, another possibility is that you might have to sing the same note again, the same note twice. That's a bit unlikely, but it could happen. But I'm not going to spend time on that because I hope you'll agree that will be pretty easy. So from the third note up, you only have two places to go, either one step down or two steps down. So from B, either to A or to G. La, 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 la. So again, think about that, practice that a little bit. You may want to pause the video. So now let's think about where you might go from, if you'd gone down from the keynote to a step below. Now there are three possibilities here, apart from repeating the note, as I say, which is theoretically possible. You might either go back to the keynote, or up two steps, or down one step. That's all. You couldn't go down two steps. So, again, from the step below the keynote, there are three possibilities. up one step, up two steps, or down one step. So, for instance, you might go la, 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 fairly easy, or la, 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 which we practiced in the first video, also relatively easy. So the harder one is going la, 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 like that. So keynote, step down, then go up above the keynote. Now what I suggest you do with these, as with starting in the keynote, is simply lots of practice of those different combinations with the piano, and then try without the piano. So to recap what we've done so far, we've practiced going from step 2 of the scale, up one, la la, or down one, la la, or down two, la la. From the third note of the scale, we've practiced the only two possibilities, which are down one or down two, la la, la la. And from the note below the keynote, which is the seventh note of the scale, we've practiced the three possibilities. Up one, la la, down one, la la, or up two, la la. Okay. And then we've only got one more note to move from, which is two steps down, a third down if you like, from the keynote, which is the sixth note of the scale. And again, only two possibilities here, and they're both up. You'll either go up one step, la la, or up two steps, la la. And that actually covers all your possibilities. So if you've practiced all those, you can then do them in whatever combination you like. I've covered that a little bit briefly. I probably spent less time on that than I did on moving from the keynote, even though this is probably a bit harder. But have a go, and I may make another video to help further, or I may not. I think just the thing is, just remember you've got a range of 5 notes, so you've got a number of different possibilities from each note. But you will never go more than a third, which remember is 2 steps. It's not 3 steps, a third is 2 steps, up or down. So there is a limited range of possibilities. So practice those different combinations with the piano, then without the piano, just sort of looking at the notes or pointing at the notes, but without playing them. And of course, then you can play them after you've sung to test whether you got it right or not. I hope that makes sense. Now in the next video we'll move from looking at the notes on the keyboard to looking at the notes in the score, but it's basically the same skill. Okay, so that is all on this video.